Krishna Krishna Bhattaya Tadabhattaya Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer pranams to our Gurudev, Vishnupad Dandi Swami Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj, our old Rupanuga Guru Varga, all devotees, Dandavat pranams. So, we're discussing these teachings of Rupa Goswami. And first there was Anyabilasita Sunyam Gyan Karmaya Davitam. Remember? Anukulena Krishnanu? Silanam Bhakti Uttam. You know that verse? Manorama? Did you illegally eat today?
Yes, I did.
So, Uttam Bhakti is the cultivation of activities performed by body, mind and words, also through the cultivation of emotions which are performed exclusively for the benefit of Krishna and devoid of any other desire. Right? This is called Uttam Bhakti. So, Bhakti should not be covered by Gyan or Karma. So, Uttam Bhakti, 3 divisions. You know, the first day we described that verse. Then we heard about the 64 limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti, the 5 limbs of Raganuga Bhakti. So the performance of sadhan will develop to the stage of bhav. Bhav, another name of bhav is rati. Rati means attachment. So rati also means material attachment. Because rati have to go somewhere. The soul is made of rati, or this rag, attachment. But when the soul covered by the subtle and gross bodies, that rag which should go to Krishna in its pure state now goes towards the body and that which is related to the body. So simply a matter of redirection. So, for example, we talked about the 9 symptoms of someone in whom Bhav Bhakti has sprouted. What were they? Forbearance, never waste time. Detachment, offering all respect, not demanding respect for oneself. So much enthusiastic, asabandha, hopeful, Krishna will give mercy. That was the first one. Samutkant. Enthusiasm. So much attachment to hearing, attachment to speaking Krishna's qualities, and also attachment to residing where Krishna has performed his pastimes. So if prema is like the sun, then bhav is like one ray of that sun. It is not a material emotion, it's the very essence of Samvit and Ladini Shaktis. So all these things we discussed today. What are someone in the stage of bhav, what will happen? In the course of circumambulating Brajmanu Parikram, the devotee arrives in Vrindavan. Being overwhelmed by spiritual emotion or bhav bhakti, they inquire as follows from the Brijbasis, O residents of Braj, where is Sevakunj? Where is Niduvan and Bamsivat? A Brijabasi devotee takes him by the hand and leads him to Sevakunj. Arriving at Sevakunj, he falls down on the courtyard and rolls on the ground. How wonderful! At this spot, Rasik Shekhar Brajananandan, Krishna, served the lotus feet of our worshipful mistress Srimati Radhika. O Sevakunj, O dust particles of this place, O creepers and trees, kindly bestow your mercy upon us. When will we attain the mercy of Sevakunj? This is called affection for the places of the Lord's residence. A second example is as follows. Some devotee comes performing parikrama of Navadvip Dham inquired with tearful eyes, and the hairs of his body standing on end. O Dambasis, where is the birthplace of our Gaur-Sundar? Which path did he use to follow while performing kirtan with his devotees? Being showed these places by the residents of the Dham, his voice becomes choked. He rolls on the ground and exclaims, "How wonderful, this is Mayapur Dham." Even though it is non-different in every respect from Braj, it confers even greater mercy than Braj. O birthplace of Gaur-Sundar, please bestow your mercy upon this insignificant and worthless person. Saying this again and again, that devotee becomes deeply overwhelmed with spiritual emotion. This is called affection for the places of the Lord's residence. So these 9 symptoms are called anubhavs, are manifest in the devotee's heart in whom bhav bhakti has sprouted. One who has reached this level, they are qualified to see Krishna face to face, even though some imperfections still remain, like Bilva Mangal Thakur. He is an example of a sadhak. We know his life story. You remember the life story of Bilva Mangal? Still he had lust. On the way to Vrindavan, he was lusting after one girl. But what's the proof? Bhav Bhakti had already come in his heart because he could take out his eyes. Ready, Padabja, to take out your eyes?
Yeah.
No, we cannot do it because Bhav has not arisen in the heart. So, there are 2 things which should be noticed here. We're talking about pure Rati. There's Rati Abhas, which is a shadow of Rati, and Pratibimba, which is a reflection of Rati. Pratibimba be bad. Pratibimba means reflection. And the reflection and everything is there in the original, but opposite. So this Pratibimba Rati Abhas appears sometimes. They will have tears or their hairs will stand on it. Like the Mayavadis. Those who desire karma, those who desire gyan, these are called the karmis and the mumukshavadas. Sometimes when they hear topics of Krishna, this Pratibimba Rati Abhas comes in the heart. In its pure state, Bhagavad Rati is free from all coverings. Sarvupadi Muktam Tat Paratetwana Nimalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchite. This is one definition of pure bhakti. Upadi means when the soul is free from all designations. I am Russian, I am a man, I am a woman. So when the soul free from these false identifications, expresses attachment to Krishna, then all the senses will engage in the service of Krishna. The soul also has senses. That is called pure rati. But sometimes someone in the audience, maybe they desire liberation, they hear topics of Krishna, then tears also come from their eyes or the hair stand on end. Why? Oh, very easily by hearing topics of Krishna, I can go to the material celestial planets. Or I can get liberation. Very easily by hearing topics of Krishna, all desires are fulfilled. So the karmis and the jnanis also hear topics of Krishna, their hair stand on end and tears flow from their eyes. I can go to enjoy in the celestial planets very easily by this. Or the Mayavadis, I can get freedom from birth and death just hearing Krishna's names. So this look like rati because tears are coming on hairs are standing, but it's not really. This is called pratibimba, a reflection of rati. No? So, like that. So this is not good. Because this is not symptom of real rati, only some symptoms coming. So, superior to this is chaya rati bimba, chaya rati abhas. Chaya means shadow. Original have 5 fingers, therefore the shadow also have 5 fingers. So it's a lot closer than a reflection, because reflection is completely opposite. sometimes in the association of pure devotees, hearing Krishna's pastimes, that ratyabhas which bears some resemblance to Sudarati, which possesses curiosity or inquisitiveness of an insignificant nature, which is unsteady, and which relieves material distress, is known as Chai Ratyabhas. Like sometimes in Kirtan, or sometimes like Janmastami, or the birthplace of Krishna in Vrindavan, sometimes this Chai Ratyabhas awakens in the heart of even ignorant people. But this is also a matter of supreme good fortune. Even a shadow may sometimes touch us. So, Sudarati has one reflection, which is bad, and one chaya, shadow, which also is good. Like, maybe it's not the, anyway, like that. Like when Jaiva Dharma, not maybe a perfectly matching example, but can give us some idea. There was one Mayavadi, but he was liberated soul. He'd gone through the 4 stages of sannyas. Bahuchak, Kutichak, Hanks, Paramahamsa, 4 levels of sannyas. So he was there, he'd taken a vow of silence. Then he saw one devotee chanting, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi, Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. So just by seeing that devotee for 1 second, he felt indescribable ecstasy. But because he was thinking of himself as a Paramahamsa, and because he'd taken a vow of silence, he did not go and talk with that devotee. So it could be this is one example of this Chaya Ratyabhas appearing in his heart for a second. So, 4th wave, Prema Bhakti. Right? First wave was Anyabhilasita Sunyam. 2nd wave was Vaidhi Bhakti. 3rd wave was this Raganuga Sadhan, leading to the stage of Bhav. And now 4th is called Prema Bhakti. Actually, Prema Bhakti has 2 stages. One is called Bhav, one is called Prema.
But how can Chaya Ratyabhas have you said Sudha Bhakti can have 2 reflections, one is bad. How could it have something bad?
No, because Pratibimba is an opposite.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do. Like if you look at yourself in the mirror, everything's opposite. So Pratibimba Ratyabhas is considered insignificant, have no real contact with pure Rati. But Chai Ratyabhas have some real contact. So someone who has Chai Ratyabhas has a lot of good fortune.
So it means that you don't get attached to these feelings.
No, it's temporary, but you touch it for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's temporary, but
And
it's
then,
also too much good fortune.
Yeah, goes serious and
I don't know, it depends.
Yeah.
Right? So, Prema Bhakti. Right. The mature stage of Bhav Bhakti is called Prema. The symptoms of Prema is even when there may be millions of obstacles, there is not even the slightest diminution or affection. Example, of course, like the gopis. Krishna may have millions of faults, but their love for him does not decrease. Not like this world. You see some fault in the husband, what happens?
Divorce.
Little decrease. No, our love is very material. We see some good thing, then our love increases. Oh, how nice was the pastor. Very good. I didn't know Rukmini was so excellent. But if it was burnt, the opposite would happen. But pure love does not depend on any fault or any so-called quality. Not that the gopis seeing Krishna's so-called bad qualities, their love for him does not decrease. And seeing his good qualities, their love for him also does not increase. Like Radhika just heard the name of Krishna. Who is Krishna? What is Krishna? Is he good or is he bad? Is he even a human? What is he? No understanding of his qualities. But just hearing name of Krishna, then spontaneous affection woke up. This is definition of prema. There may be many millions of obstacles or impediments, but that affection does not decrease. That is called prema. Ultimately, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that last verse of the Shikshastakam, what is that? What's the last verse of Shikshastakam? Do I have to do all the thinking on a full stomach of pasta? Oh, Krishna seva napada. Oh, he is debauchee, but no problem. He is mad prana nata seva napada. He is my life and soul. This is symptom of prema. No? In fact, obstacles, rather than decreasing prema, obstacles can often increase prema. No? Radhika describes prema as like an elephant and like a lion, and obstacles are like elephants. When lion eats the elephant, she becomes more stronger. So a superior condition of prema is called increase of mamata. One definition of prema is there. Ananta mamata Vishnu ananya prema sangate bhakti uchte bhisma pralad narada udava. Pralad, Narada and Uddhava all describe what is prem when there's so much feelings of possessiveness towards Krishna. And even more possessiveness to that which is related to Krishna, this is called prema. You know? Like if someone steals Satyavrat's car, no loss, right, for me. Don't mind, just give an example. Someone steals a car up the road. We don't know the owners, we don't know anyone. No problem, because not mine. But someone steals something belonging to you, you'll feel so much pain, no? So mamata. That much mamata you have, Krishna is mine, that much thick is prema. Like Madhya Soda, my son, the gopis, my beloved. So they have so much mamata for Krishna, possessiveness. So Gurudev says, don't be without, what did Gurudev say? Don't be without
Possessiveness?
Mamata means minus. Don't be without minus. Don't be minus minus.
Can you be plus plus?
Minus means feelings Krishna is mine. Don't be minus minus. So we should have always feeling Gurudev is mine, right? Vaishnava is mine. Bhagavan is mine. That much those feelings become thick. That much is prema bhakti. No? Like Chandravali thinks she has feelings of Tadya Bhav. Chandravali feels I am Krishna's. But Radhika feels Mamata Bhav. Radhika feels Krishna is mine. No? So big difference. I am Krishna's and Krishna is mine. So when that prema becomes thickened by mamata, it achieves the stage of sneha. Then many man, pranay, rag, all these things. No? So the symptom of rag is extreme affection. That is called sneha. When sneha thickens, it's called pranay, etc., etc. No? So what is prema when bhav, the conditions of bhav, remember the three ruchis of bhav? No? Sorida, the three ruchis. When the heart melts by these three ruchis, that is called bhav. Bhagavan prapti abhilas, a desire to attain Bhagavan. No? Sorida abhilas, desire to do a particular favorable service to Krishna. No? And the third was heart melting due to affection, sneha. So when these three ruchis, these three tastes melt in the heart, it's called bhav. But when the heart melts even more, then it's called prema. Tatiana, where are you today? What happened to your brain? Out of market. Bhav bhakti, which melts the heart more so than it's in its first stage, which greatly thickens in feelings of possessiveness and a deep sense of mamata, this is called prema bhakti. Okay? So in simple language, prema bhakti have two names, prema and bhav. Okay. For example, when you crush sugarcane juice, is one sweetness. But when you boil it, it becomes gur, molasses, I guess. When you boil sugarcane, it becomes molasses. When you boil molasses, it becomes gur. No? When you boil gur, it becomes kanda, unrefined sugar. Okay, so in the same way, when bhav thickens, it becomes prema, sneha, man, all these other things. No? So, right. So, very quick there. Now we move to the southern division. Right? Eastern division finished. That's like more than 60% of the book. So, after prema, what happens? No? After bhav bhakti, then one becomes more high, he becomes rasik. There's a big difference between bhavuk and rasik. Who can taste the Srimad Bhagavatam? Aho mahum rasika bhuvika. The bhavuks and the rasiks, these are two people who can taste ras. Bhav means a bhavuk is a devotee in whom bhav has appeared, and a rasik is one in whom a taste for Krishna bhakti ras has come. Right? So before Rupa Guru Maharaj said, before Rupa Goswami there was bhakti, but no bhakti ras. Okay? So, just like today we had tomato sauce. What were the ingredients? Tomatoes, peppers, oregano, sugar, salt. Everything has to be in correct proportion. Like I have 20 grams of tomatoes and 800 grams of salt. Then no taste is there. So, what are the ingredients of ras? A little bit we talked this about on the first night. So this southern division, it's called Dakshin Vibhag. Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Ras Nirupaka. General characteristics of Bhagavad Bhakti Ras. Okay, we should know something. So just like if you make lemon juice, you should have correct proportion of lemon, correct proportion of soda water, correct proportion of what? Sugar, maybe salt and pepper because Indians. Everything has to, all 5 ingredients should be there and in correct proportion. You know? So sadhak's heart, these 5 things we have to bring into it. You know? That is sadhan, you know, to taste prema.
I'm trying to get a little shade.
It's all right, I'm all right, don't worry. Don't touch. Take care.
Okay.
Don't touch it, you're going to break it again. Thank you. So what are the... this may seem a bit esoteric, but still we should hear something. What are the 5 ingredients of Bhakti Ras? Vibhav, then? Staibhav, Vibhav, Staibhav, Anubhav, Vyabhachari Bhav, and Satvik Bhav. 5 ingredients. So, where should we start? First it's Vibhav. No, let's do Staibhav, because we've always mentioned that. So when the devotee comes to the stage of Rati, then Rati is the basic ingredient called Staibhav. No. So here in this book, Rupa Goswami discusses 5 types of Staibhav. Shantarati, Dasirati, Sakirati, Vatsalyarati, and Madhu. No question of bhakti ras until one reaches the stage of bhav or rati. Then that rati becomes like the primary ingredient. So each devotee have one particular mood that this is called bhav moed. We discussed already. If someone wants to be in vatsalya ras, if someone wants to serve in vatsalya, when they reach the stage of bhav, then vatsalya rati is the staibhav, the permanent emotion. That's like the basis. Like in a mango lassi, what's the basis?
Mango.
So sthai bhav. Sthai bhav never changes. Sthai bhav never changes. No? Like we said in the beginning, the soul have one eternal nitya siddha bhav towards Krishna. Guru not gives that. Krishna gives that. No? Therefore, no one can change that. No? Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot change that. Even Rup Sanatan cannot change that. So how some Babaji and Radha Kund can change, I have no idea. Like Rup Sanatan had a younger brother, his name was Anupam. He was the father of Jiva Goswami. So Rup and Sanatan, they're too much attached to serving Radha Krishna and Manjari Bhav, Babu Las Rati. So they said to Anupam, come on bro, we are devotees of Radha Krishna. You should also serve Radha Krishna. But he was fixed in Ram Bhakti. You know? So Krishna has 64 qualities, Ram only has 60. Krishna has 4 special qualities no incarnation has. Only Krishna has Venu Madhuri, playing flute. Only Krishna has Prem Madhuri. Only Krishna stealing butter and doing all these wonderful Leela. Ram not doing like that. Leela Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Rup Madhuri, super excellent beauty. And Venu, Rup, Gun, Leela Madhuri. So they preach to him, his mind changed. He have too much affection for Rup Sanatan. He sees them like Guru. So give up Ram and become Manjari. He could not deny. So all night he tried to give up his remembrance of Ram and tried to think of Radha Krishna. But he could not do it. So weeping, he went to his brothers, weeping, I try very hard, I cannot give up. When I think of giving up the feet of Ram, my heart breaks to 1,000,000 pieces. So Rup Sanatan became very happy. We were just joking with you. We were joking with you. We just want to see your attachment to Lord Ram. No? So Rup Sanatan cannot change the sthai bhav. It's permanent. No? We also have now, but we have forgotten. No? When you've forgotten something, it's still there. You just don't know where it is. Like, where was my phone? Exactly where I put it last night. It was not lost, but I could not find it. So sthai bhav is there, but we've forgotten. No? Another example, Mahaprabhu had a devotee called Murari. He was devotee of Ramchandra. No? So Mahaprabhu preached to him, give up this Ram and develop love for Shyam, for Krishna. All night he tried to do, but he could not do. Then his heart was broken. I cannot give up Ramchandra's lotus feet, but I cannot give up the feet of my Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he wanted to kill himself. Actually, he had a knife under his pillow, and he thought, Mangalati, Allah Akbar, I'll take my life. So Mangalati was 4:30, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 4:29. And first thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said was, give me the knife. Then Murari began to cry how he knew. He knows everything. Why you want to leave me? I cannot give up the feet of Ram. I cannot give up your lotus feet. I don't know what to do. Then Mahaprabhu laughed. You are Hanuman. I was just testing you. And with sandalwood paste, Mahaprabhu wrote Ram Das on his forehead. So this is proof that sthai bhav never changed. You know? Even Lord Shiva, he's mostly in Shantaras. Jagannath sleeping there, doing pretty good impersonation. Shantaras means he meditate on Bhagavan. That is Shantaras. But when he heard of Braj Lila, he wanted to serve like the gopis. So you know the story. He took the form of Braj Gopi and went there. So he changed body, but he cannot change the sthai bhav. Soul cannot change. So soul has same mood. Even though he had body of gopi, he had no feelings of gopi. Same mood. So he was dancing. Then Krishna said, I am not feeling happiness. Some unqualified, some spy must appear. All gopis search round. Who is this new? We know all gopis, but we don't know this one. They grabbed her. What's your name? What's he going to say? I'm Mahadev. What's your husband's name? What village you're born in? What your parents' name? He couldn't answer, so gopis began slapping him. Then he cried, "Hey, Bhagavan, save me." Then Krishna came. This is no demon, this is Mahadev. Hari Harekatma, like my own soul. But even Shiva couldn't change mood. Change body, but not change mood. So Staibhav, we should think is the first ingredient. Right? Staibhav. Okay. Even though it's mentioned fifth, for some reason I mentioned it first. Because it's a little easy to understand. Then Vibhav. Vibhav means that which is the cause of the tasting of ras, and that which in ras is tasted. I mean, we can give material example, but it's not good. Like we see a chocolate ice cream. Then, no, I am tasting ras, and the chocolate ice cream is the cause of ras. But this is not a good example because chocolate ice cream is unconscious. No? So Vibhav means what? The cause of ras, and that which in ras is tasted. Who is the cause of ras? Krishna. And who is the taster of ras? Devotee. But from Krishna's point of view, it's opposite. For Krishna's point of view, who's the taster? Krishna. And who's the cause? Devotee. Like when Krishna sees Radhika, then he feels so many things. So who's the cause of ras? Radhika. Who's the feeler? Krishna. Because Krishna is also rasik shaker. He's also tasting all this stuff. No? So,
is Vibhav the same as Vyabhichari Bhav?
Different. Different.
Why they list the 5?
Vibhav's a separate ingredient. Vyabhichari is a separate ingredient.
Okay.
It's like number 4 or something. Don't worry, we'll get there. No. Okay. So Vibhav have 2. What's the cause? No. So Alamban, that is Krishna and the devotee, and Udipan. Many things give accordance. Like you see the summer season, then you think of chocolate ice cream, for example. So summer season is also one cause of ras coming. Right? Udipan. Many things remind the devotee of Krishna. Well, at least they should, no? If we see a peacock feather, who do you think of? See someone with a flute, what do you think of? Right. You see a dark rain cloud, what do you think of? Right. These things, you see Govardhan, Krishna. These things are called Udipan. They're like the life and soul of devotee. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, these things like the footprint of a cow, like the peacock feather, like the flute, like a dark rain cloud, like a deer. These things are the life and soul of devotee. He says, I don't want to live where those things are not. So, Udipan, that which stimulates rati, and Alamban, the cause and the taster. So Visaya Lamban, the cause of rati, the object of rati, that is Krishna, and Ashraya Lamban, that is devotee. Okay, that was pretty easy. Okay, so Staibhav, you following all this, Satyarat? Sounds complicated, but it's not too much. Vibhav means Krishna and the devotee. And according to the mood, then Krishna will be different. We'll hear all this later, no? Like when Mother Yasoda see Krishna, what she see? Like motherly feelings. I don't know, I guess, what's a better example? Like when a husband sees wife, then one feeling comes. But when child sees same woman who's mother, another feeling comes. Father sees same woman who's his daughter, then another feeling comes. So, Staibhav, that's the ingredient. Then there's Krishna and the devotee. Okay, that's the second ingredient. Then there's Vyabhichari bhavs. Vyabhichari are temporary emotions. Let's get there. Temporary emotions. So if Staibhav is the ocean, then there's 33 waves that come and go. In the heart of devotee, these emotions coming and going. Okay. Let's give some examples. I will give examples as we go, no problem. So Vyabhichari, there's 33. Anyway, we'll hear about them. Like sometimes we hear devotees depressed. This is one ecstasy. Like when Krishna doesn't come, Radhika feels depressed. But this is not like our depression where we take Prozac and stuff. This is one ecstasy. Sattvic bhavs, this body is made of 8 ingredients. When this Vishuddha Sattva touches the 8 ingredients of the body, then you can see some ecstasies. Like when Vishuddha Sattva touches the water element in the body, then devotee weeps. When touches the fire element in the body, then they change color. Emotion has color. When we're afraid, we become white. When we're angry, we become red. Right? So devotee also sometimes change color. This is sattvic bhav. Suddha Sattva touching the fire element or the air element, devotees' hair stand on end or their voice chokes. Right? And anubhav. We cannot see the bhav in the heart, but by some bodily expression you can understand what is there. Like we see Tatyana in the distance and she's doing like this to her son. What? We can't hear, but we can understand. Oh, angry. Right? So anubhav, visible actions which display some internal emotion which we cannot see. So Padabja for $5 US, what are the 5 ingredients?
Avas,
Yeah.
Stai Bhav, Anubhav, Vibhav,
Save $5. Sattvic,
Sattvic Bhav, and
Vyabhachari.
Vyabhichari.
5 ingredients. Any question?
But previously they last.
The Gurudev explained this for years, and we were just like, because we can't understand too much. But hearing again and again, we can understand. That means that all devotees, their ecstasies, everything, like sometimes we hear devotees like tired. This is also one anubhav, one ecstasy. Sick, weeping, these are all different ecstasies, different tastes for the devotee. No? So, Sattvic bhavs like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like there's a jackfruit in the kitchen. Golden and with all little bumps. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometimes look like a jackfruit. So many ecstasies in his body. Sometimes he weeps so much because this is God, this is not ordinary jiva. When he weeps, this is like rivers of Ganga flowing from his eyes. If you read Chaitanya Bhagavat, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what ecstasies he manifests in Kirtan in the house of Srivas. Sometimes he would fall to the ground like an earthquake. Hundreds of devotees could not pick him up. Sometimes they would pick him up like a feather and they would move him around the room like that. So different ecstasies. Sometimes he would roar, devotees would become afraid. Sometimes pride would come. Devotee has pride sometimes. Not like in our stage. He would sit on the throne, worship me. Even Brahma, Shiva are not good enough for me, he would say. And next minute he would catch the feet of the devotees. I'm very sorry, forgive me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all these different ecstasies, one after another. They're not material, otherwise devotees would not describe them.
But there's only 4 ingredients. Bhakti Ras.
5, Staibhav. Staibhav, Vibhav, Vyabhachari.
Vibhav is part of the Stai Bhav.
Still, no, it's 5 ingredients. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 waves. Next. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifests all these sattvic bhavs. And there's sattvic bhavs in different conditions. Like Gurudev said, in this world very rarely sometimes we see a high-class devotee crying. No. Gurudev very rarely. Sometimes you see he speak about his Gurudev, his voice choke. So this world sometimes you see 1 or 2, maximum is 3 ecstatic symptoms in this world. That's why Shikshastikam, Nayanam Gadgad Rudhaya Gara Pulika Nichipu Pada Kata Tav Nam Grahani Bhavishati. O Lord, O Govinda, when that time will come when I chant your holy name, my voice will choke, the hairs of my body will stand on end, and tears will flow from my eyes. So this world, 3 if you're lucky. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, eight ecstasies. They're also in different levels of intensity. No? Dumayit, smoldering. Like you're making a fire, which we're going to do tonight, right? Bonfire?
No way.
Thank you. Dumayit, smoldering, right? Just before the bonfire starts,
You're praying, you're smoldering.
there'll be some little smolder. No? So sometimes when an ecstasy manifests a very small quantity by itself or combined with one or two, at that time devotee can cover and protect themselves. Like when Krishna sometimes feels some ecstasy, that time he covers himself with his chadar, like that. This is called smoldering, dumayit. No? Jwalit, like you blow when you make a little fire, first you smoke, but when you blow and it starts burning, this is called jwalita, flaming. Flaming. When 2 or 3 symptoms manifest prominently at the same time and can only be concealed with difficulty, this is called, Padabja? Thank you. Jwalita. Dumayit, jwalita. 3, dipta, burning. When 3, 4, 5 sattvic bhavas manifest very powerfully and is not possible to suppress them, that is called dipta, burning. Udipta, brightly burning. When 5, 6, or even all 8 of the sattvic bhavas manifest simultaneously and very strongly, it is called udipta. And finally, sudipta, blazing. Oh, sorry. Sudipta, blazing. No, like when the bonfire we have tonight, fully blazing condition. That means all 8 ecstasies in a fully blazing condition.
That's a funeral fire.
Like Padabja's funeral pyre. The fire will be dancing with ecstasy. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the temple of Jagannath, Nityananda broke his danda. No. He became angry. This danda is the cause of the suffering of all the devotees of Navadvip. Because of this danda, then Vishnu Priya has to weep day and night, Mother Sachi, all devotee. So he became angry and broke to 3 places. So Mahaprabhu came back from collecting. He was collecting sabji and rice. He saw his danda broken. Who did this? And Jagadananda was too afraid to say Nityananda did it. Because snitches get ditches. Right? He not said anything. And Nityananda said, you did it when you fell on your danda in ecstasy. You broke your danda, but it wasn't true. So Mahaprabhu became angry. I can't travel with you guys. Too much disturb. Either you go first and I will come after, or I go first and you come after. So Jagadananda, Gadadha, Chandrasekhar, Nityananda himself, they were with the Lord. He said, you go first. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like an intoxicated lion, ran to Jagannath Puri. So when he entered the temple of Jagannath, he saw his Pran Vallabh because he is mood of Radhika. So he not saw Baladeva or Subhadra, just saw Krishna. He went to embrace. That means jump on the altar and embrace Jagannath. So that time he fell unconscious. So the guards, even Mona Lisa have so many guards, imagine Jagannath. And these guys are massive because they're eating Jagannath Prasad so many times a day. So they went to beat this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They went to beat him with sticks. They thought this is one pagal, samachech. Right? They went to beat him. They thought he's just a nonsense, disturbing. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was there. And he's incarnation of Brihaspati. He knows all Shastra. So he saw on this young sannyasi not 1 bhav or 2 bhavs or 3 bhavs. What did he see? All 8. Becoming stunned because Lord Chaitanya unconscious. This is one devotional ecstasy. All his hair stand on end, tears flowing from his eyes, no voice, choked, changing complexion, horripilations. So he saw all 8. And in what condition? Not smoking, or what are the 5 stages? Not smoky, not flaming, not burning, not blazing, but fully blazing. Now we heard in this world you see 1 or 2, but he saw all 8 in a fully blazing condition, all 8. So he read Shastra, but he'd never seen it before. He'd read but never seen. Therefore, when they went to beat him, he stopped. This is not some pagal, some chech. No, he thought this is some mukt liberated soul, mukta purush, because he heard these symptoms only in the body of the liberated souls. But this is God he could not understand. So he stopped them beating and he ordered the guards, because Sarvabhauma was guru of Jagannath Puri. The king, Prataparudra was his guru. Sorry, the guru of the king was Sarvabhauma, so he was Raj Pandit, the guru of all others. So when he said, don't beat him, carry him to my house, then all the guards, they picked up Lord Chaitanya and carried him to the house of Sarvabhauma. Kavi Kanapur said, like sometimes you see ants pick up a big piece of sugar and carry him home. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked like that. No? So, here's something. Sattvic bhavs also have 3 divisions. Who can imagine all these things? No? Smooth, smeared, or rough. Like peanut butter, right? Smooth, smeared, and rough. That's how I'll remember it from now on. So smooth means what? When the primary emotion also have the other emotions, like laughing. No? So this is called smooth. Digda, smeared. When these emotions, these sattvic bhavs, not come from rati itself, but come from some other cause. And ruksha. Ruksha means rough. Sometimes, if someone scares you, right? Your hairs, has anyone had that? If someone scares you, your hairs all stand on end, right? Have anyone had that thing? Or too much emotion, you cannot speak, but no rati, just angry or something like that. This is called ruksha. Anyway, so smooth, smeared, and ruksha. No example, I can't understand smeared. What would that mean? Sattvic bhavs which are not instigated by either mukhya or gaunya rati, but which follow in the wake of rati. No example given, so I can't really follow them. No. Okay. Sattvic bhavs is also 2 types. Right, these are the sattvics, also 4 types of there. Ratyabhas, Sattvabhas, Nisattva, and Pratip. Anyway, interesting. Ratyabhas means a semblance of rati. We already discussed that. Maybe you're near some great devotee, he weeps, and you also weep, because his bhav is touching you, reflecting you for a little bit. No? Right? It resembles sattvic bhavs, but it's not really coming from you, it's just by some association. Ratyabhas. Right. Also, some people we already discussed, they desire liberation, and they hear liberation very hard, but just by living in Mathura you get liberation, then they're also crying. They're not bhav bhaktas, but these symptoms come in their bodies. This is called ratyabhas. Right. Another is called sattvabhas. Right. Sometimes new people come and they hear class. No? They become overwhelmed with emotion. Maybe they weep or their voice becomes choked, but really Sudha Sattva is not there. This is just also some like semblance, sattvabhas. Right? People who are generally emotional damaged. People who are emotional and they come to the temple, maybe they also exhibit some crying or choking of voice. Nisattva. No? Nisattva means there's no sattva there. But they're very emotional, especially ladies. No, they hear some katha and some crying. No. Like, there was one woman in a mosque, and she'd go every day for the lecture. And the lecturer had a big beard. So when he would speak, his head would move and his beard would move. Then this lady in the back, she would weep so much, crying. Then the Muslim who was giving the speech thought, no one ever cries in my lecture. What wonderful thing did I say? So he asked the lady, what thing touched you from the Quran today? And then she said, I don't know about the Quran, but I used to have a goat. That was scary. Did you hear that? I used to have a goat. He was very dear to me. You know? He fathered many goats. So just last week, he ran away. I lost him, but he had a big beard. And when you move your head, I remember him and I cry. So this is called nisattva. Nothing there but emotional or something it comes. No. So pradeep. Right, pradeep means sometimes the enemies of Krishna also, no? They see Krishna, their eyes become red or something, they become angry. These are also sattvic bhavs. No? When these feelings come due to fear or anger, they're called pradeep sattvic bhavas. No? Yes, and many times people try to manifest these symptoms to become famous or something like that. I think we already discussed that since I've been here a little bit. No? But many people, like in Orissa, they have 24-hour chanting, Ashtapada Kirtan. So sometimes the temple would send us. There'd be like 10 brahmacharis, and like everyone does 2 hours. Like they have deity of Radha, they have like picture of Radha Krishna Mahaprabhu in the middle and Tulsi and everything. And you just go around like that for 2 hours. And when you finish your 2 hours, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then after your 2 hours, the next group comes on. And they do 2 hours like that. So we did our 2 hours, and we saw the next group, they had chilies and they were putting in their eyes. Like that. Otherwise, people think they're not really chanting. So this is also one type of deception, one type of ratyabhas, one type of, and many people doing like this. No, someone I won't mention his name used to sit in the audience, and when the audience was watching, he'd go like I'm some ecstasy. He would always be trying to show the audience. Won't mention his name, should I? But we all know who it is. Who is it? Anyway. So many people deceptively show these sattvics to get some name or fame. Bhakti Gokashodas Babaji Maharaj said, like a chaste woman always covers her body, high-class Vaishnava always cover their emotions. They're not revealing these ecstasies in public. You know? So, like a whale jumps in the ocean. Like killer whales, orcas, they're jumping the ocean, but no disturbance for the ocean, because ocean is so deep. So in the hearts of persons who are like oceans, even big ecstasies, no change in the body, no change in the personality, because their hearts are deep. But if you put a little goldfish in a little shallow pond, and he little flaps here and there, the whole pond becomes disturbed. So sometimes persons whose hearts are very shallow, even a little bit of emotion makes big transformations. You know? One time Gurudev was there and someone was giving class, Bhagavad Saptah. He was crying so much. Then Gurudev took the mic and said, why is he crying so much? I'm not crying. Anyway. So we should know what is real and what is not real. Right. So we didn't talk about anubhavs so much. You cannot see the mood, but by the external symptoms you can understand what's going on. There are 13. Nritya. So much happiness you feel, you have to express it. Then dancing. We force ourselves to dance. Right? We force ourselves to dance. But when this bhav really comes, that time you cannot stop. You have to dance. That happiness, that bhav makes you dance. No? Vilutid, rolling on the ground. No? Like we eat too much, we roll on the ground. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifest all these things. No? Geet, singing. No? What does a drunk man, when he's too much happy, what does he do? Sing. No? Kroshan, loudly weeping. Tanumotan, horripilation of the body. Hunka, roaring. Haven't seen that. Drimban, yawning. We yawn because tamagun and tired, but Vaishnav, their yawning is one anubhav. Yes, Vaishnav, all activities are not material. No? We think, oh, I'm yawning, he's yawning, same. But his yawning is an anubhav and ours is just a manifestation of ignorance, tamagun. Madhusudana Maharaj gave the example. The moon reflects in the ocean. And the sardine is also in the ocean. The sardine looks at the reflection of the moon. He thinks the moon is like me. I'm also silver. I'm also shining. But where is the sardine and where is the moon? So, swas, boom, heavy breathing. Loka anupekshita, giving up public concern. Who thinks what? Who cares? Lalasrava, salivating. Atahas, loud laughter. Gurna, staggering about. Hika, hiccups. That's easy to remember, isn't it? Gurna, Anubhav. One time when I first saw Trivikram Maharaj, not first, but he was giving a lecture in a place called where the ocean comes to also have darshan of Lord Chaitanya in Mayapur. How could I forget the name? Samudragar. That's right, that's what it's called, Samudragar. Anyway, so it's a long katha, but there was one devotee called Samudra Sen. He was local. He was king of that area. And Bhim had been sent by Yudhisthira to conquer the kings in all directions for the Rajasuya. So when Bhim came with his army, if you want to fight, you fight. Otherwise, you just do pranam and give donation. Yes, I'm servant of Yudhisthira. So Samudra Sen was not an ordinary king. He so much wanted to see Krishna, but no success. So he thought, how can I see Krishna? By mercy of Bhim, I can see him. If I put Bhim into so much trouble that Bhim is about to lose his life, then Krishna will come and save him. So he attacked Bhim so strongly, then Bhim thought, I'm going to be finished. So he cried, hey, Krishna, save me. You know? My defeat means Yudhisthira's defeat. That means your defeat. So Krishna manifested on the battlefield. So Bhim could not see him, but Samudra Sen could see him. Then he became full of happiness, peacefully stopped fighting. Then Bhim thought, oh, I beat him. Now he's afraid, and then like this. So Gurudev and Trivikram Maharaj would always have a war in that place. No? Trivikram Maharaj would say, Samudra Sen is greater. No, Gurudev would say Samudra Sen is greater. And Trivikram Maharaj would say, no, Bhim Sen is greater. They were, every year for like 50, 60 years, they would have a war there, fighting. The first time I had never been there before. And the first time, then Trivikram Maharaj was like this, really roaring and moving like a drunk person, I remember. Like drunk. And everyone was sort of laughing so much, but I couldn't understand what was happening. But when you read all this, there's so much ecstasy inside, then roaring. Then really he looked like he was intoxicated. Like that. These are all anubhavs, but very rare to see. So anyway, Staibhav, right? Vibhav, anyway, hearing again and again. Anubhavs, 13. We didn't really describe this Vyabhacharis. We can hear a little bit about them. No? Sometimes we hear Radhika was envious or Mother Yasoda was angry. What's the meaning? Okay, so let's little bit, hopefully they'll be here. 33 emotions which come in the heart of devotee. Vibhav and above, Satvik, Pratyabhas. Come on. No. Let's find them. They're a little bit down here, but description of the Abhacharis. Right. 33 emotions. Sometimes we may see this in high-class Vaishnava and just think some material thing. Nirved, self-disparagement. No? Like Radhika's often lamenting, what I did, I'm no good, my behavior to Krishna is not proper. No? Nirved arises from great distress, feelings of separation, jealousy, non-performance of duty, anxiety, tears, change of color, feelings of worthlessness, sighing and other anubhavs are manifest. Like Mahaprabhu, na prema gandospi darapi, Mahaprabhu said, I have no love for Krishna. What's the proof I'm still alive? If I had love for Krishna, I would have died, but I'm happily living. This is proof I have no love for Krishna. This emotion just come, not all time Mahaprabhu is walking around. It's come like touching. Nirved. Vishad, depression. Right? Arises from non-attainment of one's desired object. Devotee cannot get Krishna, then they feel depression, but that is fully spiritual emotion. Inability to complete some endeavor that was begun for Krishna. Right? Even Prabhupada could not build this temple in Bombay, then depression. These are all Vishad, these are all Vyabhachari. Humility, to consider oneself despicable and unworthy. This dainyata or wretchedness arises from distress, fear, and offenses. Gloominess, anxiety, and inertia of the limbs. Glani, physical and mental debility. Like when Krishna went to Mathura, what Radhika doing? Just lying there. Not moving, not even breathing. This is Glani. Shram, exhaustion. All night Radha Krishna together, Radhika's eyes like that. But this is one ecstasy. Not like us, like Tamagun. This is Shram. Mad, intoxication. Sometimes Radha Krishna drink honey wine. Well, then Radhika, look, the sky's falling. She says like that. The sky's falling, trees moving. So this is, or too much enjoyment, then this is called mad, intoxication. No? Tottering of the limbs, stumbling movements, stammer of the speech, and rolling of the eyes, and redness of the eyes. These are all symptoms of mad, intoxication. Pride. Disregard for others because of one's own good fortune, beauty, youth, and qualities. Like sometimes the coward boys, especially Sridham. Who is this Krishna? He is nothing. Look at these. I'm older than him. I'm better looking than him. My father has more cow. Like this. This is one pride, but this is one ecstasy. No? Gardava, pride. Disdainful speech. Sunk, apprehension or fear. Like Radhika, fears, where's Jatila and Katila? Fear, but this is one ecstasy. These are all not always present. They come and they go, and they give taste. So fear, apprehension, agitation, right? Madness. Like when Radhika saw the bumblebee speaking all type of mad words. Radhika is not always like this, coming and going. Apasmriti, confusion, absence of mind. When there's this Vyabhachari bhav, then one runs here and there in circles, trembling, foam coming from the mouth, shouting. Vyadi, disease, a feverish condition caused by separation, is called Vyadi. Like the gopis touching Radhika, her body like fire. But she's not always like coming, going. Moha, fainting or delusion. Mrityu, death. Sometimes appear like devotee, like dead, but not dead. Mriti. No? Laziness. No, it's not like you. Or like me, I was thinking, I don't want to cook today. I'll let Rukmini do. But a laziness is not like our laziness. No? In spite of being able to do so, there is non-engagement in activity due to satisfaction or fatigue. This is called alasya. Jarya, insensibility. Bridha, shyness. Avahita, concealing of emotions. Smriti, remembering. Seeing something and remembering Krishna's activities. Vitarka, arguing with Krishna. Chinta, anxiety. Being very resolved. Fortitude. Jubilation. Desire. 33, right? Fierceness. Is that even a word? Fierceness. Too long with the Russians. I forgot my English. Fierceness. Sometimes the Lita very fierce to Krishna. This is an anubhav. Sorry, vyabhachari. Amarsha, intolerance. Asurya, envy. The malice that arises upon seeing the good fortune and quality of others is called asurya. The gopis have envy to Radhika, or Radhika has envy to other groups. This is a spiritual ecstasy. Chaplium, restlessness. Nidra, sleep. Right? We sleep because too much tamagun. I'm the body, I need to rest. But Krishna and the gopis also sleep, but that is one ecstasy. Supti, dreaming. Right? When we dream, it's like a function of Rajagun in the mind. But gopis have no sattvagun, rajagun, tamagun. Many times they see in dreams Krishna or some other things. One time in Niduvan, Radha Krishna very deeply asleep. Then Radhika saw a dream. She saw on the bank of one river, looked like the Yamuna, but the water was white, not black, but looked just like Yamuna. And on the bank of Yamuna was one Brahman boy with a complexion of gold. Sometimes he would chant Ha Radhe. Sometimes he would chant Ha Krishna. When he would chant Ha Krishna, and Radhika would think, this is me chanting. And when he would chant Ha Radhe, then this is the sound of my Vallabha, my Pran Vallabha Krishna. So Radhika woke up. Who is that? Was it me or was it Krishna? Who was that? What is this? So she woke Krishna. I had an astonishing dream. I saw one youth. He looked like you, but he act like me. Same complexion, same mode. Who is this? Then Krishna said, Radhika, nothing is unknown to you. I've never seen you so astonished in any of my incarnations. Is this what you see in the dream? Then Krishna had one Kaustubha jewel. He showed. And what Radhika saw in the dream, then the same thing. Krishna showed her in the Kaustubha money. Oh, that is my form I take in Kali Yuga. No, that is my Gausunda form. Then Radhika too much astonished. You know? So even the dreams of Krishna and the associates, this is real. This is not Maya, not illusionary. No, like we not talked about it, but who wrote this book, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, it said that the Kam Gayatri Mantra have 24.5 syllables because Krishna's Sarup have 24.5 moons. 10 moons, fingernails, 10 moons, toenails. Full moon is full face is another moon, 21, 22, 23. Tilak, 24, and Krishna's forehead is half. Right? It's like a half moon. But no matter how much he looked at the Gayatri Mantra, he could only find 24 syllables. Where's the half syllable? He could not find it. Then he was thinking, did Krishnadas Kaviraj make a mistake? I cannot see 24.5 syllables. But Kaviraj clearly says 24 and a half. That means I don't understand the mantra. If I don't understand the mantra, how can I see the Ishtadev of the mantra, which is Gopi Vallabh Sri Krishna? If I can't see Krishna, my life have no meaning. I might as well kill myself. So he took a rock and tied it in his cloth, and he was waiting. Mangalati, Haribol. I'll commit suicide in Radhakund. Then somehow just before Mangalati he fell asleep. No. Then Radhika came in dream. Oh, Harivalabha, that was his name. We say Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, but his name was Harivalabha. Oh, Harivalabha. No. Krishnadas Kaviraj knows everything about me by my mercy. No. So he never made mistake. He is free from for defect. No. If you want to find the half syllable, you look in this book. Then he woke up. Then he saw. Then he wrote all these explanations. So Supti dreaming. No. Our dream is one thing. But Krishna's associate, this also one ecstasy. No. So sometimes these all everything we're talking about come in Krishna also. The sattvic bhavs. No. When Krishna's there taking lunch and Radhika's serving out, then Krishna all hair stand on body and his voice. So to cover himself, he's like, otherwise, why is he feeling all this stuff when he looks at Radhika? Then trouble come. So Krishna feels the sattvic, but like that, he covers himself to cover the mood. All these things we see in Krishna, restlessness, right? How many of these are not in Krishna? Envy, fickleness, sleep, dreaming, waking, intolerance, fierceness, jubilation, desire. These are all things in Krishna also. No? Because we heard in the beginning, no, there's Visaya and Ashraya. And last, Bodha, awakening. When they're awake, this is also one devotional ecstasy. These 33 bhavs are called Vyabhachari bhav. And these are all described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, little esoteric. Maybe we do not understand too much. But still too much nice to hear. So tomorrow, when Tatiana is not here, then we'll start all the good stuff. What qualities in Krishna awaken the ecstasies of the devotees? So here are 64 qualities of Krishna. Right? If you read Jaiva Dharma, then you understand 90% of Jaiva Dharma is this old Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Rupa Goswami. So tomorrow we'll hear the 64 qualities of Krishna. How many qualities Padabja possesses? 50. 50 are in the Jiva. 55 are in demigods like Shiva and Ganesh. 60 qualities in Narayan and 64 in Krishna. Krishna possesses all of them. One Purushottam month, Maharaj just spoke about the 64 qualities of Krishna for 1 month. Remember? Just say yes, Padabja.
Which year?
Can't remember. Go Premanandi. 7:30. Any questions?